There are two key ingredients to being successful with email marketing: discipline and patience. That's what we're going over during this episode. Ready? Here we go.
Welcome to the Everything Email Podcast with Ken Countess. Ken is a world-renowned email marketing expert. He'll help you 10x your business with email strategies that generate more sales. And now, here's Ken Countess.
Hey, welcome to this week's episode of the Everything Email Podcast. This is episode 63. And during this episode, I'm going to talk about the two key ingredients of email marketing, and they may surprise you. They are patience and discipline. Hey, if you haven't already joined my mailing list, make sure you do that. It's on our website, kenisemmail.com/join our list with hyphens in between. If you go on the website and if you just move your mouse over to leave the page, you'll see a pop-up and that'll allow you to do this really simply. All right, let's talk about those two main ingredients, which are discipline and patience. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, a lot of people, number one, a lot of people overthink email. They're thinking, I've got to sell in order to make money using email. But that's not what email marketing is all about. Email is really about building a relationship. And how do you build a relationship? Well, think about, let's say you were dating and you're at your favorite watering hole, whatever that might be, and you find someone who's the person of your dreams. You don't go up to them and say, hey, will you marry me? Of course not. What you do is you make some small conversation, and over time, hopefully you go and you see that person again and again and again, and what you're doing is you're building a relationship. That's what you're doing with email marketing too. It's not sell. It's build. Build that relationship. Now, the way you do that is by just having discipline. Don't try to sell every time. Don't try to make a huge impression every time. Although, of course, you want to make a good impression, right? But what you want to do is have discipline, meaning you want to show up in the inbox on a regular basis, not sporadically, not once every 3 months or once every 6 months or once a year. Nobody's going to remember you. Get in there on a regular cadence. Most times when you're starting out, it's once a month. You can also, when you're starting out, send maybe twice a month, every other week. But don't wait several months before someone hears from you again. Otherwise, they've forgotten all about you. So be disciplined. Send an email on a regular basis so that people expect your email in their inbox. Next, be patient. Too many people send an email and they get disappointed that they didn't make a sale on the very first time out. Well, unless your product is such an impulse buy that people can't wait to buy your product the first time they hear about it, you can't expect to sell something right on your first email campaign. Because here's what happens. You send an email out to your list for the first time. And people look at the email and they go, oh, I didn't know that they were even in business. Or maybe they knew a little bit about your business, but you haven't built trust. You haven't built any credibility with them. So you send out your email, and what you want to be thinking about is educating your audience. So the first one goes out, great, show up in the inbox, hopefully they open it. Then about a month later, or if you decide you want to do it every other week, don't do it every week at the outset. Let's say you do it once a month. And the second time out, the people receiving your email go, oh, they're still in business. Let me see what they have for me this time. Once again, be patient. Don't expect them to buy right away. On the third email, and then maybe the fourth and maybe the fifth, that's when you can expect to generate a sale. It may take even longer. I've got clients that it took 10 years before they actually bought something. Hopefully you don't have to wait that long, and I'm sure you don't. If you've got a product or service that's appealing, you'll start making sales before you even know it. So, the 2 things to know about: have discipline, send on a regular basis, and have patience. Don't expect to make that sale on the very first email. That's it for this week. Thanks so much for listening. I hope again you'll join our mailing list and that you'll subscribe to the podcast, whether you find it on Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you find it. And by the way, it's also on YouTube as well. There's an entire playlist right there, and you could find it on my website too, kenisemail.com/podcast. If you're interested in working with me, go to kenisemail.com/packages. kenisemail.com/packages. And don't forget to join my mailing list. If you're not already on it, go on my website, kenisemail.com, kenisemail.com, and go ahead and join my list there. Hey, we'll see you next week.
Thanks for listening to the Everything Email Podcast with Ken Countess. If you like the podcast, tell your friends and coworkers about it. Be sure to visit kenisemail.com to sign up for Ken's mailing list. You'll get great marketing tips every week in your inbox. Have questions? Send Ken an email. It's ken@kenisemail.com. See you next time.